Hey everyone, I'm planning to do a series of 3 videos to cover the 3 different dungeons we have in Game of Thrones Kingsroad. The Altar of Memories is gonna be the first video, this one by the way. Then I will talk about the Beyond the Wall expedition in another video, separated one, because I reached the level 42 with my main character, so I can access the last one. I will talk about the rewards, the rankings, how to speedrun the content for the rankings. I will give you all the detail in the future video about the wormwalks. In the last video I'm gonna publish on my channel, I am gonna show you some gameplay with my 3 different classes and try to give you some tips on how to progress in that content. But in today's video, I will focus on the Altar of Memories. I will introduce you that content, what gear to take in the week's reward. I want to give you some tips about the team composition you need to have if you want to max out your damage. I want to give you some tips about what skills you need to use, how to go faster in the content for the chrono and the ranking rewards. I want to give you all the things I know about that content. But right before, let me apologize about my broken voice. I'm ill as hell, so I apologize about that. I hope that you will still enjoy the video. By the way, right before getting into the content, did you know that you could get some free rewards in-game by supporting your favorite content creator? Basically, during the month of June, you will receive some Kappa pouches, rune runners to get more artifacts, you will get some recharge tickets to get more RP, and activity support chests, so just a few more materials such as potions and herbs, stuff like that to craft. Basically, the only thing you have to do is open one of my videos, like that, go in the description and click on that link here. Click on support, and by doing that, you will receive some coupons. You don't need to spend anything. Basically, I will have the list. I can send you some rewards during the month and later as well. On the other side, if someday you want to spend in game, I will receive a percentage based on your spending. So thank you so much to everyone who want to support me. When you reach Winterfell for the first time, just need to go here and interact with the tree to unlock the first Altar of Memories. You don't need to complete any quest to get into that content. Just need to have the required momentum. For the first one, you don't have any limitations, so you can enter that directly. For the next ones, you have a 20,000 to get on the momentum, you have a 34,000 on the Griffin, 63,000 on the last Cocatrix, and finally 85, almost 86,000 to enter the last dungeon in here. Every single boss has its own tier on the equipment. You can get a guarantee at the end to obtain a piece of gear of your choice. Basically, you have all the sets in the game here, and you can select the piece of gear you want. Basically, during your progression, so during the first 4 dungeons here, I recommend to go only for the 7th set, because by completing some content in game with your progression, you will get some 7th purple sets. So basically, you will have more stats and more efficiency on your character, and a better effects given by the set equipped on your character. Basically, let me show that to you and explain to you how it works. If I open my equipment here, this is what I have at the moment. You probably noticed the numbers you have below the set effect here. In fact, every single blue piece of gear is giving 2 levels to the set you have equipped. Every purple is giving +3, and every legendary is giving +4. The higher the level here, the more the stats given by the effect. So this is why I recommend to equip your main set here on your character, because I can have the rank 14 here. It's giving to me 5.4% attack power per stack up to 5 times, 23.1% crit rate, and up to 30.8% crit damage. If you want to compare, if I go here on the stat research, the max level you can reach is the level 4 on the stat effect at the moment. So it's way less efficient. And to compare, look at the stats given by the stat here when it's level 3. 4.1% only, 15% crit rate, and 20% crit damage only. So it is way less efficient. So in the Altar of Memories, you have the guarantee. This is the only gacha system you have in the game, I would say, outside of the expeditions, I mean, for the relics. Here, you are guaranteed to obtain the reward of your choice after 8 attempts if you couldn't get it before. If you get it before, you will reset the guarantee. It can happen, it happened to me multiple times. But the rates are not that high, so don't expect to get it to cut the guarantee all the time. This is great to farm that content when you are at least on the tier 4 or tier 5, because you get not only the item of your choice here, but every time you claim the rewards, you are getting that chest inside of which you can get some legendary, but the rates are terrible. It never happened to me, but I know that it happened to other players. You can get some purples and you can get some blues, and you have also some green ones inside, but the rates are very low to obtain some green, so most of the time you are getting some blue. Keep in mind that you are not forced to get a piece from a set, you have some pieces of gear without any stat at all. But it can help you to have a lot of gear, and with the gear to progress your set research here. Or if you want to craft some gear, it can help you to reforge and have better effects. Another great reward you are getting in the Altar of Memories, and this is the only way to acquire some, you have the designs here, and you are forced to use some if you want to craft some purples and legendary gear, alright? So you will be forced in fact to jump on that content from time to time if you want to craft some equipment, and basically I recommend to do that a couple times when you need some blueprints. And then the rest of the time farm the ferocious beast, and in my case I am farming the last one because you are getting some purple and legendary scraps or full pelts that you can use to craft your best gear in game. And you are also getting some Reach, North and Stormlands token here that you can use in the exchange shop if you want to know. If I go here, regional currencies to purchase a lot of things. So in my opinion, it is good to farm a bit the Altar of Memories from time to time, but focus on the ferocious beasts first if you want to have a better gear at the end. But now another question. When should you farm the Altar of Memories? In fact, when you want to get your purple gear. In my case, I'm gonna explain to you what I did. I don't know if it is the best thing, the most optimal to do, but at the moment and before, I found a lot of the bandit camps, especially now in the Stormlands, because every time you complete that content, you are getting some crafting materials for your gear, and you get a crazy amount of copper. You get also a lot of experience, you get some more pieces of gear for the set research and stuff like that. It doesn't require a lot of RP, and you get some North, or you get some regional tokens that you can exchange in the shop. In my opinion, this is better to farm the bandit camps first until you craft all your blue pieces of gear from the set you want, so you have a lot of efficiency, and once it's done, jump on the Altar of Memories and the Ferocious Beast, so then you can just optimize the gear on your characters. Now, let's talk about the different bosses you have in the Altar of Memories, and after that I will give you some tips. The first one is the blue cockatrix. Basically, it's got a poison on the ground, sometimes it will get in the air, and you have a moment in the fight where you need to shoot at it to make it fall from the sky. And at that moment, it will get stunned and you will be able to release more damage safer. This is only the first one, and generally a lot of players are doing that for the ranking rewards, so you won't struggle a lot. If you are struggling in any of these dungeon Altar of Memories, just try to find a strong player and he will carry you. For the giant spider, you need to avoid staying in front of her because she will release crazy combos, and you need to avoid running if you have the aggro. Basically, she will aggro the highest DPS in the group. If you are that one, don't run, otherwise she will jump everywhere and the others won't be able to attack. You have two phases in that content here. The first phase, she's spawning, she's coming to you, you can just attack very easy, and when she loses, I don't remember exactly, maybe 50% HP, she will run away, clip the wall, and then you will have some rocks falling from the sky. At that moment, it's starting to get a bit harder, but don't worry, you can dodge these attacks super easy. The Griffin is a bit different. Every time you inflict 25% HP to him, he's gonna fly away. So if you want to push the rankings, you need to have the best timer. So make sure that you are using your best burst damage right before inflicting 25% of the damage, otherwise the Griffin will fly away and you will waste a lot of time. During the fight, you will have a phase when you need to set up a trap. After doing that, just need to put the boss on the trap and he will get stunned during a few seconds, so you will have time to release more damage. On the 4th dungeon, you will fight the first boss, the blue cockatrix, and a new one, the red cockatrix. You will have only the red one at the beginning, and when she falls down below 75% of HP, she will call for the blue cockatrix. Don't kill her before she calls for the other cockatrix, otherwise you will be forced to quit the dungeon, the blue one will never come. When you have the two cockatrix, when you kill one, the other will get enraged, attacking faster and being more aggressive. And finally, on the last dungeon, you will face the unicorn. Basically, this is the most annoying one because it's always jumping everywhere, so this is very hard to place your combos, and I recommend to use your shorter combo on that content. Otherwise, you will struggle to hit her. You have three different phases on that boss. The normal one when you enter the fight, then when it falls down below 50% HP, you need to grab some spears on the ground and throw 5 spears at it so it won't be enraged anymore, and when it falls down below 25% HP, it will cause some storm and lightnings. You will have some tornadoes and sometimes some lightnings on your characters, and it attacks way faster than normal. Now it's time to get into the content and give you some tips. When you enter an altar of memories, you are losing all your rage. So it can be very hard to get some to be efficient and your skills and have a pretty good chrono on the different bosses. Don't worry, I have a solution, guys. If I open my trait tree here, on the attack one, this is my knight, so I have a lot of trait tree points. There is that skill that you need to take. In fact, I don't understand why, but the description is not good. In fact, when you are using a ranged attack, you are getting the attack power increased by 50% for 10 seconds, but instead of having some damage increased on your ranged attacks, you are getting more rage, and you get a crazy amount of rage, as you can see right now on the screen. So basically, when I'm entering that content, I am just making sure that I have some bolts. You can refill the bolts when entering the content, so it's alright. And I am firing 3 projectiles at the opponent directly on start. I'm casting all my skills, and generally I'm lacking some rage to cast the last skill, so I'm just using another projectile and I can cast all my skills. This is very important if you want to max out your damage on that content. Another tip for the chrono that time, when you enter the content, right after that image disappears on the black screen, you can start moving and sprinting with your character. By doing that, you will have a better start and a better chrono at the end. Now, let's talk about what is the best team composition. It is great to play different types of characters in the group. For example, the knight is very cool because if you can have the advancement +2 on boost morale and boost morale plus, basically when you are casting that, you are decreasing the defense of the boss by 30% with boost morale plus, and with the advancement, you are increasing the crit rate and crit damage of all your team members by a lot. So if you want to maximize the damage of your group, then having a knight inside of your team is very nice. Even if the knight can't release a lot of damage, just providing the buff to your team members is very efficient. And if your goal is to release a lot of damage with the knight, the slash skill is the best one to have. The assassin is the main damage dealer. Basically, you need to play with a strike combo in which you have the blood burst stacks, so you can apply the blood burst on the enemy. The more you apply, the more the attack power you will have with the skill that will remove the blood burst on the target. 45% attack power per stack. You can stack up to 8 marks on the target, and just basically when you are using any of your skills, you will remove the stacks and deal damage. I recommend to use the ambush if you can have the weaken +2, so you will increase the damage dealt on the enemy by 12.5%. And right after the ambush, try to use the cutting mutilation. If you have the plus, you will release an insane amount of damage all of a sudden. And if you have the other things here, you will have even more damage. You will release absolutely insane damage with that class, with these skills. And right before using the ambush or the cutting mutilation, the best thing I recommend to use to buff your character is the Ignite weapon with Armed Conflict 2 and Forged in Fire. 8.8% attack power, and if I had the Forged in Fire +1, at least I will get 20% more crit damage during the effect of the skill. It's alright if you don't have these skills, you can still use the poison plus, the poison because you have stacking poison +2, increasing your attack power by 12.5% if you have the +2 here. So buff your character, then use some combos to apply some blood bursts, use the ambush to weaken the target, and use the cutting mutilation. If you have multiple assassins in your team, make sure that the others are not casting their skills before you if you are the highest DPS one. Because if they are doing so, they will remove the blood stacks on the target, so they will have the damage increase and you won't. So make sure to communicate with your team members. If you want to play the assassin without some damage but as a support, you can use the retreat skill. If you have the shadow assault, enemies in the smoke screen will have a 10% damage increase. Same for the ambush here, you can increase the damage received by the target. Then finally, if you have a sellsword in your team, tell him to use the roar skill. It lasts only 8 seconds, but if you synchronize at the right time with your allies, they will have a 20% damage increase. You can level up that skill and basically increase even higher the damage of your teammates. So this can be very nice. Look at that, 27% on level 38. This is very strong. And if you have the Berserk Plus here, you are also increasing the crit rate of your team members and the light attack speed, so it can be very nice. Something more about the sellsword, and make sure that with the combos you are using, you are putting some shocks and destructions on the target, because basically this is another way to increase the damage received by the opponent. Plus 20% when you have the destruction, and plus 30% dage damage, plus 5% attack speed when destruction is applied. I don't know if it is working only for your character, for the sellsword, or if it is working for the other heroes. I suppose yes. So just in case, do that. So if in your team you have at least one knight with the boost morale, if you have one sellsword with the roar and the destruction stacks, and if you have an assassin with the blood burst and high burst damage, then you will maximize the damage you will inflict on the boss and kill it in no time. Now let's talk quickly about the rankings. You have an Altar of Memories ranking for every single boss, giving you more or less rewards at the end every week. And so for the last one, this is very important to farm that content because you are getting a crazy amount of rewards, especially on the last dungeon. This is a bit sad. Before we had some more. I already made a video, so you can check that. Here, based on your ranking, you need to know about it. You need to enter with your alliance member. Generally, this is what I recommend to do. So you are getting the rewards for all your alliance members. Basically, the thing you need to have in mind when you have a ranking here with 4 people in a group, every single group member will have the same timer and the same rank. So if you can push that content, have the top 1 with the 4 people of your alliance, then everybody will have the top 1 reward. This is how you maximize the rewards you are getting. Or try to add some friends and do the content with some friends right before the reset. So you will maximize the rewards you will get at the end, and you can be in the ranking with your 3 characters. As you can see for this one, my first character is a top 2 at the moment, and my secondary character is top 5. Something more about the rankings, it's based on the server you are situated at the moment. For example, I am with the early access players only. I won't have the other players in the rankings here, but I can still enter the content with players from other servers, and I can carry them in fact. So if you have some guild members, this is a good thing to do one day before the reset. Carry your players from your guild and they will have more resources, they will grow faster, they will have more power, and your alliance will grow faster. Alright everyone, so that was all I had to say about today's video. I will catch you on the next one, Beyond the Wall Expedition, and then on the Worm Walks. Have a nice day guys, take care, see you on the next one. That was Akhtar, bye bye.